Bling.
Howdy! Welcome to our Parlor Drawcast. Today, we're gonna be drawing and personifying our Psyche, just like Zombie did in Me and Myself, his comic that is really awesome, and you should go check it out.
What a lovely surprise! You never told me anything about this.
Yeah, and before we start recording, Zombie is like, I don't even know what we're doing today.
Yeah.
And there was just an eerie silence as me and Pyre didn't know what to say.
But hold on. So wait a minute. In my case, am I supposed to make up new ones?
That can be up to you.
Right.
But I know for the first round, it's gonna be me and Pyra personifying a part of our Psyche, whatever we want, but we won't mention it. And then once we're done drawing, everybody else will take turns trying to guess like what that character that we made represents.
Oh, you know what? I could actually, I could show you a character that I haven't shown before.
Ooh, perfect. Here we go. 15 minutes starting now.
Okay.
And it's Zombie's responsibility to keep
Fuck.
the time.
Yeah, I just noticed. Oh.
You're the timekeeper today.
Well, I think, you'll get a few extra seconds as I pull up my counter.
Zombie, so if you want to like briefly mention your comic, Me and Myself, so people kind of get a feel for what we're really doing here.
Right. So, this is kind of funny. What I usually do is I go. You know how Pixar had a movie where, it was about like the main characters are basically emotions inside of.
Inside.
Yeah. Exactly. So I just sort of took that concept and then constructed it my way, and it ended up being very different. So, in my case, like they had disgust. So like, there's one character that's just like bleh, or like she looks like clothes and she's like nah, that ain't good, you know. But I don't really have that strong emotion. Like I don't get disgusted all that often. So I sort of scrapped that, and I have hype instead.
Yeah, hype is a very interesting emotion to personify and include in a small group of emotions.
Yeah, because you could.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
because you
cool.
can sort of couple hype with happiness. So it's just like when happy is really happy. But I find that it's sort of a different emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like expectation. Because you can be super hyped and then be disappointed to the max.
Yeah, but it's like I feel I'm thinking about sort of when you're watching Dragon Ball or One Punch Man or something very intense, or like you're listening to Deja Vu or something like that. Like when you're really pumped. That's very different from being overjoyous. Yeah, so that's why I divide the two. So you could actually, you can divide it however you'd like. And, I sort of try to keep it dense and stick to just 6 characters. Because, like, I feel like you can, if you go too far, then you can just, like, keep dividing these. But somewhere in between there's gonna be similarities.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you can make an anger and a wrath. And, I guess you could subdivide emotions.
Yeah. Like I sort of have my character Riley. Can we put her up on screen, like in the edit? Yeah. So she is like anger basically, and what I've done is like you talked about, there are just different kinds of being angry. There's just like peeved, or like hangry, as they say. But then there's like grudges and just like you know, total wrath, like just like blinded. Yeah. So she sort of has different stages. Is what it is. Like what she does is she escalates, and depending on where on the spectrum she is, like her appearance kind of changes a little bit, just slightly. So yeah.
Oh yeah, because I'll put a picture of Rayleigh up. You recently drew one picture of her where she is incredibly buff.
Yeah. Well, that's her standard form though. But I'm thinking about I'll give you one of the pictures where she turns like when she's sort of blinded by rage, because she kind of goes all Naruto and grows like fangs and claws and stuff. So that so that's kind of what I mean. Like you can still tell that it's her, but you know she just becomes more and more monstrous.
That's pretty cool. I'd say like out of your 6 emotion characters, Rayleigh is probably one of your favorites, and then Tofu. Or just both of those are probably your favorites. Because most of the comics has been centering around them.
Well, I feel like they are kind of the most entertaining, because
that's true, because like Sadness isn't going to be all that fun to work with.
Like it's more sentimental, so like you can only have so many episodes where it's like boom, where it's like a super emotional moment, because that's basically what it is.
Oh yeah, that makes sense, because you did that in one comic strip. You know, a cool thing that you're doing with this series is where you allow other people to do short comics featuring your characters, like they cross into other people's universes and shenanigans ensue. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Well, you don't see that very often.
That's totally due to Tofu, because she's kind of on a mission to just like meet more and more people and like spread her image. You know, to just like be happy. You know. So I feel like I should really put more effort into the comic itself, because like I've been working on my main comic Lotta for the most part, and it's only like recently that I've been putting more effort into me and myself. But I'm really I feel like it's way more fun for people to, because like you said, it's way more interactive that way, because they don't really have a plot line in of themselves, so they can just sort of just jump in, and it won't be contradictory to what they're doing, or like it won't take away from them per se.
Yeah, and it's something that you can just like hop into at any time. There's no amount of lore or backstories or context that you usually have to know.
Yeah.
So it's structured in a way that makes it very easy to get into.
Yeah.
Which, in my comic, that's probably not the case. Like I actually have this feeling that a lot of like friends or acquaintances or buddies or whatever online haven't read it yet. And I mean, I totally understand, because like I follow some people or I haven't read their comic quite yet, and I'm always like, yeah, I will someday, sometime. But then you just never remember to do that when you are bored and have time.
Either that, or you read through it and then you don't keep up with it.
Yeah, that too. Because I usually do not follow comics every week anymore. I did when I first found webcomics online, but now I'll just like wait and read it every few months.
Yeah, Pyra, is your canvas blank, or am I just seeing things?
Pyra hasn't said a thing.
Oh, sorry. It's maybe because the capture thing is weird. No, it is recording when I'm drawing,
Okay.
but I think the screen sharing thing is just like now you're gonna do this type of thing.
I just thought I mentioned it's there's 6 minutes left.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try to reshare it. Maybe. It might.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you want it? Like, oh, Snows is so cute. Like, what the heck?
Did you say Snows is so cute?
No, not Snows. Sorry, Frost.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
twisted.
Now this makes
I'm
sense.
sorry.
I feel like I should have mentioned the blank canvas way sooner.
Like,
So Pyro's screen share isn't working. Is that the scenario here?
Yeah.
Aw.
well, I'll try again in a second, cause I'll try now.
Mhm.
Mine isn't as good as Frost. He's got so far.
But yeah, like you said, like long, outdrawn, like epic stories.
Yeah, epic is a pretty
Yeah,
good way to summarize that.
are very hard to, so
Get
yeah,
people
yeah,
into.
cultivate the following.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
yeah. Oh man, you've done a lot of lion art. Yeah.
Good.
You know, something that recently happened, I saw on Twitter, one of my favorite webcomics, which is called Lone, just by Mellow Art.
I
think
saw
is
that.
his name. Yeah, he or she, I actually don't know what gender they are. Pretty sure male.
We should reach out.
They recently got their comic featured on Webtoons, so now they're getting paid pretty good. I know on Webtoons you get paid like at least several hundred, like $1,000 a month for being featured on Webtoons, the most popular webcomic site. But anyways, so I finally got to get some info on this question I've been thinking about for a long time. When you get featured on Webtoons, do they want you to do the webcomic format? Do they like make you do it? And the webcomic format is like comics where all the panels are usually the same size and you just scroll down forever.
Right. So
As opposed to the traditional webcomic, as opposed to the traditional comic page format where you have several panels on a page that have to fit together. I think what he said was he didn't have to, but he's choosing to. So he must have been like 200 or 300 pages into his comic, and he's deciding to restart from the beginning and do it all over again.
why? So like the first.
Yeah, I just
wait,
can't.
So the first chapter is swapped the composition altogether.
Yeah, like, he's like 200 or 300 pages in with a traditional comic format, and now that he's featured on Webtoons, pretty sure he has to restart and do it in the webcomic format that sites want you to do it in. And this is the format that neither me or Zombie use. So it's like, in order to make a living off of doing comics, we have to switch to the dark side.
Not really. I mean,
And it just kind of
it's
sucks.
I mean, that's just one path, right?
Can you explain the
Yeah.
difference
So
Yeah.
between your comic and the
Webcomic.
websites?
Webcomic is where you have all your panels just stacked on top of each other. It's like you upload an image that's like 20,000 pixels tall, and it has, like a whole chapter or something. It's not a page. It's one freaking long scroll.
yeah. And so it's kind of hard to do any cool kind of compositions where characters sort of pop into different panels and stuff, because because of the panels being so rigid, like just next, kind of like one of those film, what are they called? Yeah, just film rolls, where the pictures are just like next to each other. Oof. Are you satisfied with your drawing? because the time is up. But I feel like since you had to fiddle with the settings and stuff, I could give you another minute.
No, it's totally fine. I'm satisfied.
All right.
Yeah, I'm satisfied
Alright.
too.
So it's time for the reveal then.
Yeah. Oh wait, I guess we could just look at the screen share.
Yeah.
We don't really have to upload. Although actually, once I look at the screen share, it's not going to be visible.
Yeah, no, exactly. Can we just
Oh
into
yeah.
Discord?
Here,
Oh, yeah.
So we can see them, so you can see each other's?
I will
Well, I
post
mean,
my
you
picture in the
you
chat.
two could stop. No, wait, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. We totally block each other. There we go.
Oh right.
Oh,
and
dang,
now I
this
have
is
to
interesting.
guess which one it is.
Oh, yours is so cute. Oh.
Yeah. I guess since I posted the picture first, let's review mine. Let's see if you guys can guess what it is. It'll be pretty hard, really.
Right.
On
right.
the creative side?
No, that's not it.
Okay. Do you have a business tie on and a hat and you're a unicorn?
Yeah, the biggest clues are gonna be both the tie and the backwards hat.
Right.
Okay.
Whew.
Is this your alter ego that you are working a serious job but you're still doing your own thing at your own time?
Oh, that's a pretty cool
Analogy.
analysis, but no,
Mm,
that's not quite it.
Mm.
It is kind of close to that though.
all right.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, is it? Is it childlike wonder?
I could see how it could be that.
Oh
but
yeah, like
that's
you're
not
grown
quite
up
it
now,
either.
the tie. But
Yeah,
you
because
still have that
it's like
childish-
it used to be a kid, but like as you grew up, it started wearing a tie as well.
But these are really cool, but it's not quite it. Yeah,
Right,
'cause,
right.
yeah,
Do we have,
it
do
would
we-
be super hard to guess.
Yeah.
But yesterday I read a Psyche model by Carl Jung, which is like one of the founding psychologists, and one of the things that was in there was persona, which is the part of your psyche that controls like how you act in different situations. That puts people call it putting on different hats.
Right.
A lot, but like what he called it is persona, and that's what I did here. Because I tried putting different hats, the tie and the backwards hat, and then I made it a unicorn because it's unicorn is like a symbol of like perfection and like gosh, I don't know how to explain it, but it makes sense to me that a unicorn would be the one that's like the one that's in charge, like trying to perfect everything and trying to control how you're behaving to make things perfect.
Yeah, like I always think
Okay.
of unicorns as being the go-to magic, magical creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like little girls always see them as like the most perfect creature. 'Cause
Oh
it's
yeah,
so
that's
magical.
true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's this for the persona. I named her Carmen too.
Aw, she's so cute. I like her.
I also like unicorns are usually white, so I decided to make her like black.
But I feel like by
They-
that definition, aren't all of these personas like you what it is you switch persona, but depending on kind of what you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the one that does that. Like
Oh.
keeping everybody in check. The part of your brain that keeps everything in check, like is constantly analyzing yourself
Oh.
and controlling how you behave so you don't seem like a weirdo creep, crazy animal.
That's cool.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Pyra.
Oh, it's
Dang, what? There's a lot of like anguish here and burden. The backpack has got to represent burden.
Well, I mean, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of clocks coming out of it. So I'm thinking this is
Really?
yeah. It's either that or it's like flies inside of bubbles. But I'm thinking this is stress. Am I correct?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, stress.
it's
That is
stress.
perfect.
It's like I keep taking on too many things and I'm losing time.
Right.
And I'm trying to
right.
ignore everything that's going on around me.
This
So
is cool though. I
yeah.
really like the candle being in the glass staff.
Mm.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
cool.
Yeah. So I really like this because I myself have basically the exact same character in,
Oh, really?
in my take. You know Quota, right? Maybe you don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So he's the workaholic part of
Yes,
me.
yes.
And I'm getting real. I'm getting workaholic vibes from this guy.
Yeah, I put on you can't really tell, but like the arms and legs are like robots.
Yeah.
Arms and legs.
Oh,
So it's just
yeah.
like just kind of like, you know, like a robot like doing work and stuff. It's just like I have to keep going.
I like how you portrayed him as like a wanderer that's on a journey, because
Yeah, like a
when you think about it,
adventure.
it's mostly journeys, adventures, and goals that cause stress. Because when you are stressed, it's because there's a certain outcome that you have to achieve that you're working towards.
Yeah, like in my head, I was like thinking like this is like an adventure that keeps taking on like side missions.
Oh
It
yeah,
has to
that's
keep
really
going.
cool. It's just like he's supposed to get to like a town, and there's just like people on the road, like help me, help me.
Yeah, exactly.
My,
It's like, all right, I'll do that for
my
you," and
brother
it's like,
was
"Ah."
lost in the cave. It's like I'll get to it.
I'll do it for you. Okay.
Okay, so me and Pyro will go again.
15 minutes. 1.
On the clock, start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go. I meant like go zombie. Do the count.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. All right. Well, I just started, so.
Countdown
Yeah,
has
yeah.
begun.
So we're going.
Get to it.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get a chance to tell you guys. I signed up to climb Mount Fuji in 2021.
What? That's really cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Wait,
I'm
how are you
go
gonna get to Mount Fuji? You gonna fly a plane there?
Yeah, basically, there's a group that's going in like 2021, and so it gives you like enough time to train for it.
Ah, so
Wow.
that's
So-
what
so
you've
then
been
you climb,
doing
like,
then.
It's 10 days. Yeah, sort of. Like, I wasn't sure if it was guaranteed or not, but now that it is, like, I have to like start training towards it.
But when you say
So I'm, like,
climb
good-
Mount Fuji, like, do you mean is there like a road, or do you go like straight up?
Basically, there is a track. Basically, there's gonna be like people with us that live around there, and they have a trail
Yeah.
that they go up. So there will be moments where it's like you go off trail, but basically,
Okay,
you
okay.
know, it takes 10 days to get to the top.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
So yeah, so
That's gotta be an epic adventure.
yeah, there's gonna be a
Mm.
blend. Are you? Oh man, are you gonna
Yeah.
have to like pack tents and stuff too?
Yeah, like you have like stuff with you and everything, and like you have your own bags and whatnot, and the people come with you and all will like help you like fix things up or whatever, and like tell you like, oh, this is a good place like to stay.
Oh shit.
So
How dangerous is Mount Fuji?
it's kind of dangerous if like I guess it's dangerous if you don't know what you're kind of doing if you're not with professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Like my
But
dad,
otherwise, not really.
it's more of like just like a tired thing. It's more like an adventure type of thing. Like you could give up halfway if like you just like you could get motion sickness, or some people have like lost their eyesight by going too high.
Ah, right,
Mhm.
right. But it's not like.
But like
uh,
permanent.
Mount
Right.
Everest. 'Cause that one's pretty dangerous, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. It's,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like if you go too fast up Mount Everest, you get whiplash, or like yeah, cause no, not that fast, not that fast. Well, what I mean is like because the oxygen level is changes. So if you go too fast, then your body is not gonna adapt fast enough to the new altitude. So you'll actually
Oh,
pass
yeah.
out no matter what if you go too fast.
No matter how buff
Yeah,
and strong you
yeah.
are.
Yeah, basically you have to take your time, and also like you have to like there's like tablets you can take and everything to help stop the motion sickness. Because you're gonna feel car sick no matter what, like that kind of feeling.
And it's also the cold. Is a real issue on Mount Everest. Because you have to camp out and wait out the oxygen, but you don't wanna take your time either, because the cold is gonna set in.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so it's a conundrum.
Yeah,
either
because
way.
You keep supplies to keep yourself warm, and so if they run out, like you're screwed at that point.
Well, absolutely. There's also that I'm gonna go to Mount Fuji with my dad. Like him and I are gonna go together because then we know each other and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like climbed
Good old
like
daughter son, daughter father
son.
shit.
But like he's climbed Kilimanjaro before. Like he climbed that one. So he's climbed before.
Yeah,
That's
I've never
pretty
heard
cool.
of that one.
Yeah, Kilimanjaro is the 4th tallest mountain in the world. It's in Africa.
Oh, okay.
So he climbed that one. He said like when he was like climbing up, a bunch of people gave up halfway. Like one person like fainted and couldn't see. Like he lost his eyesight and they had to carry him back down.
That's too scary for me.
Well, was
No,
it heat
thank you.
stroke that time?
Yeah, it was like heat, and also like it was just like if your body, some people's bodies just can't cope with like being too high up.
Yeah.
And also like just like being like if you're not fit enough as well to like cope with like moving every single day. Like you have to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's not like an easy feat. You have to train for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
like
for
you have
the
to like
faint of heart.
Right.
indeed. So like you have to be kind of like be able like I'm like gonna start like climbing up like the mountains around here and stuff and just like properly train for it now. So because I don't want to be that person who's like I can't do it like halfway up.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to embarrass my dad.
Like, because this is like your first mountain too, so that would kind of suck if
Oh, absolutely. Like I want to like prove myself. I'm like yes, I
yeah,
can do this.
yeah.
Well, Pyros is looking really interesting. A mermaid.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
keeping I'm keeping
interesting.
5-minute clocks as well, so we're past 5 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, I think like by the 10-minute mark, that's kind of where you have to think about colors if you're gonna color it.
Yeah, for sure. If you're 5 minutes in and no color, you're screwed. You're done.
No, like well, I mean it depends, right? Because like I've sort of I've been doing a lot of speed paints as of late, so I've really got the tempo going.
Yeah, are you ever gonna add like any commentary to your speed paints? Because I think that makes it like so much more
Well,
interesting.
I mean,
because you get to like get a little eye on the process and like the thoughts and the journey to it.
yeah, that's what I've been doing, but I haven't done it like in your way, because you talk about sort of cutting in and out where things get interesting, and you sort of like, so here is where I did this, right?
Yeah, where like I do it like I do the commentary right as I'm doing it rather than afterwards.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, because I've been drawing Guilty Gear as of late, so I sort of go through first of all the character sort of briefly, because I'm thinking a lot of people already know who they are, so I don't want to delve too deep into that.
I don't know any of
Yeah.
them.
So that's why
I'm always like, I don't know what this is.
so that's kind of why I give a small briefing at the very least, right? And then I sort of give kind of like thoughts that come to mind, and usually towards the very end is where I actually started talking about the drawing, because at that point it's more in the final stages, and I can actually comment on what it's looking like. Because like if I start talking about it during the sketching, then it's like you haven't seen what I've drawn yet. So yeah. I don't know. I might try your method as well, just to see if that gives a little bit more traction. But I'm really liking my style as of late.
Yeah, doing commentary afterwards is definitely a lot easier, but the drawback is you don't like capture any of the journey really, because it's like the difference between like watching a show of a hero going on a journey, or just a segment where the journey talks about his past experiences.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
You don't capture as much as the feels or anything. The drawback is that doing it my way, it takes a lot more editing.
Yeah.
And time. The most recent one I made, I spent more time editing that Let's Paint video than I did actually painting that picture. So what I learned from that is like make a Let's Paint out of a really big picture that you spent hours on, rather than like a 10-minute doodle.
Right. But then it's not a speed paint though. It's just a time lapse.
But I mean, a Let's Paint video only has like 30-second or so speed paint parts, and then commentary from the moment in which you were drawing it.
Don't quite. Yeah, don't quite follow. But all right. We're past the 10-minute mark, so you have 5 more minutes.
Okay. I'm
I
pretty
can
much
see
done.
that.
I just started coloring.
But yeah. I always like you've been really good at picking colors as of late, Frost. Yeah, I really like.
I haven't changed anything.
I really like well, maybe it's just me noticing it. But I really like how you shaded with purple there, and like how the white isn't actually crystal white.
Yeah, I started doing that ever since I made Phoebe's hair white, because I just the only kind of white that looked good was the like slight purple.
You don't like slight white? Or like slightly blue?
Blue just seems like a bit more boring. Like I can change it here to blue, and you might see. See? I guess it's really doesn't make a huge difference, but for some reason I like purple.
Yeah. Well, it makes it all more cold, so it wouldn't fit in this instance.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I feel like my guy here needs something else. Oh, I think I know what to do.
You could draw him in a scene as well. Like draw a little bit of background. You got 3 minutes.
Ooh, 3 minutes to draw a scene.
Just don't do line art. Just do like blobs of colors to sort of stimulate.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of what like most people do when they draw like big cities and stuff. Because they don't want to draw every single window and every single like building, because at the end of the day it's not as important as the foreground. So usually what happens is you just sort of draw rectangles and you give them a little bit of detail just to emphasize, like, hey, this isn't just a humongous brick. Like, it actually has, like, what's it called? Like, framed windows and stuff.
Yeah, that reminds me. I saw a comic recently. I sadly can't remember the name of it. Anyways, the backgrounds were really simple. There was no shading on them whatsoever. But what it did was it made the overall comic just seem like it's snapshots from a real cartoon.
Mm.
And that made me realize I've been putting too much detail on backgrounds and
Yeah.
trying too hard.
Yeah.
And if I actually did less, it would seem like more because it would seem like an actual real cartoon. Like if I took screenshots from one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing that from now on.
I've been struggling with, because right now in my comic it's like nighttime, so I've been struggling with dark colors because I keep making the comic way too dark.
Oh yeah, I could understand that.
So but I can kind of cheat it as well because I have a bunch of like glowing mushrooms and stuff, so I sort of just reflect a bunch of light onto the characters. Like they're essentially glowing themselves. But as long as I put a mushroom right next to them, it's all good.
Oh yeah, so there's enough contrast and you can still see
Yeah,
them.
yeah, because
That's pretty smart. What are you gonna do though once you're out of the forest scene and there's no more glowing mushrooms to
we
save
have
you?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Alright.
4, 3, 2, 1, and that is it.
Alright.
All right. Let's see. Let's have Pyra go first this time for the review.
Alright.
Ooh, a mermaid
Yes.
with a candy striped tail and ugly ass fish.
Mm-hmm.
Friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that greenish one would terrify me if I saw that in real life.
Looks like a puff fish.
It really exist.
Yeah.
Okay, with the pencil and the paper, I'm gonna guess creativity. Does this represent that?
Mhm. Yes.
Oh,
Pyra,
no.
I can't hear you.
Can you not hear me? Have you lost me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Is it
Yes.
creativity?
It's creativity, yes. It's basically making something beautiful out of ugly things.
So she's taking these ugly fish and making them pretty.
Well, not really. It's just like looking at anything, really, even if it's not appealing, to look at. Like, you still create with it.
Huh. Sort of, yeah, like recycling almost.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, this might not seem pretty to someone else, but someone will like it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that's...
But why the mermaid though?
Because she's, like, pretty, and she's, like, like, she's... Like, they're meant to be very beautiful creatures, but she still sees something in this ugly creature.
Right. Which is also kind of floating.
All right, and here is mine.
Oh!
He's a
Is this
little
how
cow.
Is this supposed to be your hunger, like your hungry persona?
Yeah, I couldn't really draw him with how I put the burger in front of him, but I wanted the circle on his stomach to be a mouth as well.
That's disgusting. No offense. That's so creepy. It's disgusting.
I just didn't color it right, I guess. Whoops. Yeah, yeah, I should have actually colored the top black. Anyways,
Is there any
mouth
reason
on
in the
his
fist?
stomach, little cow guy.
Is there any reason why he has a fish? Yeah. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, there's reason. Yeah, the biggest clues are just gonna be that the mouth, the eating, and the hand I really like this guy. For some reason, is it really cute that he's like a little... I guess he's a bull, technically, but making a cow character that's also little, I don't feel like anybody's ever really done that.
He's very adorable.
Yeah.
I can't figure what the fist is for. Oh yeah.
That's a pretty good guess, but no.
You smash your goals so you can get food. to get paid.
Yeah, it is about just like wanting basic things. Yeah, it's related to that. Pretty much is. Yeah, if you guys don't know a bunch about psychology, you might not even know the word.
Yeah,
do you guys know the model of the... Maybe. Do you guys know the model of the ego, the superego, and the id?
The id?
Yeah, like, if you guys know Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time, she's like a pretty good example of what an id is, because all Lumpy Space Princess ever cares about is like stupid drama, eating a bunch of food, and being bored. And she's always like super confident in her lumps, and always is about romance too. She's just always about these like basic carnal urges or whatever, and that's basically what your id is. The part of you that always just wants food, to not be bored, to be doing fun stuff constantly, and is totally not about work or anything that requires higher thinking.
Okay.
ID. I don't know. I forget who made it up. My guess is Sigmund Freud. Yep, I'm right. Yeah, I don't know why it is called an id.
Is Sigmund Freud the one that says that everyone wants to sleep with their mother? Is that him?
No. That's some, like, really stupid thing that's not even legit anymore.
But, like, was he the one who did it? He, like, talked about it?
Sigmund Freud? Yeah, he is.
Okay.
That's, like... I think he had a lot of stuff that was bogus and made up from his own personal viewpoint that people don't really regard as true anymore. But this theory is still valid. Yeah. So this one's been pretty proven and tested, I guess. So yeah, anyways, that concludes this first episode of the artists turn their psyche into characters arc. Go check out Zombies comic, Me and Myself. It's really entertaining. These characters from Zombies Psyche that live together and have a good time. Go check it out. Me and Myself. That'll do it for today's episode of the Art Parlor. We're going to continue this with a part 2. But other than that, if you want to stop here, go ahead. Why would I say that? That's it for Art Parlor today. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Could probably cut that out. None of us were talking.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny though.